Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We've got our home Zoom broadcast going on with Harry Glanz.
Good morning, Harvey. Good morning, everybody. Wonderful day out. Coming off a great holiday weekend last weekend, and the market is still sizzling hot, Harvey.
Also, we got John Kolb on the line, top 1% of all originators in the U.S. He's up north. Hey, John.
What's up, guys? How are you? Good to see you.
How do you recover every night, John, from being up north? We'll ask you later. But Noel Heideman, you bring on, of course, from Max Broock, Birmingham office. Noel, a legend in real estate. You've been doing this forever. You're right in our backyard. And always thanks for joining us. Are you in Birmingham? Where are you at, Noel? Where are you broadcasting from?
Beverly Hills.
There you go. There's your hometown.
Good morning, everybody.
Little shout out to everyone out there. And what a business we've got going out right now. If you're in real estate, you're nonstop. It's been this way since the pandemic. We have so much to talk about. We'll talk about even things before the pandemic, when in February, we were just happy that we were at 4% appreciation, Noel, on homes. And now what we're finding out is the sellers are maxing out on their profitability right now. Homes have appreciated, and due to the lack of inventory, that's what's going on right now in the mortgage world.
Yeah, absolutely. Buyers really, it's funny because the appreciation rates are modest at about 3 or 4%, but they're moving faster than income growth. So you've got move-up buyers that can't afford to move up, limited number of homes available. Our inventory, for example, in Oakland County, compared to last year is down 42%. Just to give you some stats, and I'm not a huge stat person, but for example, up to $250,000, we have a 1 month supply, of homes. From 250 to 500, we've got 1.4 months. And then over 500, we've got 2.7 months supply. So we need listings. Anybody that's looking to buy or sell, but sell specifically, give me a call. The market definitely needs more sellers out there so we can really get more buyers generated.
Yeah, so John, Harvey, and Noel, we were talking to Noel before the show. And what we're seeing out there right now, if you're in the market to buy a home, you're having to look at 10, 15, 20 houses. You're putting in an offer. You're one of 5, 6, 7, 10 offers that are going in. And the frenzied pace that we're seeing with our buyers, multiple offers going in, and we're seeing multiple pre-approvals that we're preparing. And the frenzied pace that these houses are getting snapped up because of the lack of inventory is incredible right now.
Yeah, that's true. Multiple offers everywhere.
No, one of the questions I had this week from some first-time home buyers, young couple gets married, really excited about home ownerships. Between 280 and about 320 is their price range. Maybe go up to 340. They asked me that tough question, Harvey, should I wait it out and see what happens? I really replied, I said, look, I don't see the prices coming down just because of the lack of inventory. What would you say to that?
No, I don't see the prices coming down either. We're hoping, obviously that, more and more people, once they get more settled in, who knows, if we're going to have any kind of issue here with the virus and some kind of a solution to that. And I think that's really slowed a lot of people down and stopped a lot of people from putting their homes on the market. But we're anticipating that, values are not going to go down, anytime soon. For the next few years or so, we're not anticipating that at all. We still are looking at probably a 3 to 4% appreciation rate. It's the income growth that, has been hit hard, and folks that, have been hit by the COVID, not able to work, things like that's definitely affected
John
the real estate market. So yeah, if you've got a lot of homes or not that many homes on the market, you've got a surplus of purchasers, inevitably, the prices are going to go up on those homes.
Yeah. Harv, just like we were talking about yesterday at lunch, right? And as we're speaking about the radio show yesterday, what comes on the TV is, news about mortgages, the rates, how good they are, how are people getting closed? Everyone's really worried about COVID. Well, the mortgage industry has been resilient and has really come together to figure this out pretty quickly. We're still closing loans every single day. And, and the closers are staying socially distant. So things are happening. Don't be afraid of this virus for your mortgage needs. We're there. We're doing things via email, DocuSign, socially distant closings. Soon we'll probably have some online closings where you just sign everything just like you do with your application. So don't be afraid of this virus for your mortgage needs. Get out there, get into that new home, refinance if you need to, take some cash out. I know I'm going to try to build out some stuff so that I don't have to worry about going back to a gym. See if I can work out at home.
All right. Well, that's not good for the gym owners, but hey guys, we'll go to our first call this morning. Steve out there in Armada. Steve, welcome to our show. We were talking about maybe buying a place up north and what's going on. That's where John's broadcasting from. Were you thinking the same thing? Oh, good. Go for it. Yes. Yeah, we see them on TV. They're cool. Yeah.
Question. John wants to go. You want to go, John? I'll go after John.
John
wants to answer this.
All right. Steve. So the question is, how long do you think how much money do you need, and how long do you think it'll take you to pay it off? Okay. Yes. Correct. Yeah, no, that's your financial advisor sounds like the right guy. Yes, that is true. You don't want to be in a line of credit that's going to be variable every single month based upon prime and what's going on in the market. And it's an interest only payment. And if you don't pay attention, it could really skyrocket on you. Your cash out loan, you're going to get a better interest rate. It's going to be a fixed product. You can put it on a 10-year, 15-year, 20-year, 30-year, however long and whatever you're comfortable with the payment. And you can then have a fixed payment that you're comfortable to put into your budget. If you pay it off sooner, there's no prepayment penalties, especially with us. And, it's a better, safer thing to do for you right now. Steve, do you listen to our show? Of course you can do it through Capital. We are here for you for all your needs. So yes, you can do it through Steve. Capital. And we're going to do a cash out on your home in Armada because it's going to get you the best interest rate, not your cabin in Tennessee.
There you go. There's the answer to the question. Pulling equity out of your house in Armada, of course, home values have gone up all over the country. So there's a good opportunity for you, Steve. And of course, maybe you can go in them because you'll have cash in hand. Maybe you could really go and make a nice offer on that tiny home that you're looking for. Be careful with all these things. They're sometimes a little bit of a novelty, but if it's your lifestyle and you understand all the bylaws and you read everything that's involved in it, it could be a really fun way to live out the golden years. So congratulations and good luck to you. 248-539-9797. We take your calls all morning long now. I like how the conversation always leads to some different things, including vacation homes. Harry, it's been a lot of fun this summer. Boy, I've never talked to so many friends and stuff that said, you know what? I'm going to my guy's place up north. I'm going up there to Gladwin. I'm going up there to Petoskey. You just hear it nonstop now.
It's funny. We say that all the time. Up north in Michigan in the summertime, there's no better place to be. John represents that out of our office, as a few other people do. Also, Harvey, I'm going to tell you what, you talk about the golden years. You got to be careful with that term when you're talking to a guy like me, right? The golden years. So anyways, people are buying homes, down the I-75 corridor. We're seeing a lot in Kentucky. We're seeing a lot in Tennessee. We're seeing a lot down in Georgia and Florida as well. So I can't tell you how many people that I know are going ahead and they have their houses here and they have their houses in Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida as well. So this is a common occurrence in the state of Michigan. We tend to go up north and then down the I-75 corridor. A few of us love Florida. A lot of us love Arizona and even out to California. But we're seeing a lot of second homes and a lot of vacation properties being snapped up right now because of the lifestyle people want to lead. That's where it's going right now.
All right. I like how you summarized all that up. And why not get out there and take advantage of all the equity? 248-539-9797. You got the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, welcome back to the show. 9/17, September 12th, 2020. Hey, not such a bad day outside. We're still got a few days of summer left. Get out there to the cider mill and enjoy all those things that fall will be bringing us, including Detroit Lions football tomorrow. We're all pretty pumped up about that. See if the Lions can get off to some winning ways here. And of course, I'm a huge baseball fan. We got some baseball coming up later today. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Daz Cameron in the outfield with Beneficio. Man, these guys are making some plays out there. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a total baseball slappy, but if you get a chance, turn on the radio with Dan and Jim later this afternoon. Hey, we're going to talk mortgages. 248-539-9797. Noel Heideman in from Max Broock office in the Birmingham. And always it's about what's going on. And we talked about a few things out there. No, you were talking about prices going up, but wow, what about that buying power out there? And sure, way back in the day when we all bought houses and all that stuff, it was double. So now the low rates are giving you an opportunity to maybe extend yourself a little bit and get that nicer home.
Yeah, to give an example, from August of last year to August of this year, hypothetically, let's say your monthly payment you wanted to be around $1,500, and that's just being hypothetical here. Your buying power now is about $38,000 more today than it was a year ago. Say it's $1,000 a month. Your buying power is $25,000 higher. Say your comfort level is $2,000 a month, principal and interest. Your buying power is $50,000 more. So what that means in layman's terms is that, you can get into a $450,000 house where a year ago it was $400,000. So it buys you more. And I mean, and that's really good, obviously. And you guys have seen it with capital mortgage funding with, the interest rates being as low as they are. Borrowing money is cheap.
Cheap.
Well, how about this? The cheapest in history, the lowest rates in history. It is unbelievable where the money is right now. And it's, you said the buying power exemplifies what people are doing in the market. Ergo, supply and demand, low supply of homes, high demand. And by the way, also Harvey Freed and John Kolb, a very high demand for refinance activity. Quarter two versus quarter two, 2019 versus 2020. Guess what? 200% increase in refinance transactions. You're going to have to wait in line. It's not a big deal. We can lock you in, but I caution everybody out there, public service announcement number one today. Rates are going to start going up because of the delay in the adverse market fee from Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. About 50 basis points are going to be added in. If your lender hasn't done it already, they're going to do it by October 1st because all loans that have to be delivered into Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, those government agencies, those are the terms you hear, by December 1st. That's when they're charging all lenders. That's all lenders, not just the lender of your choice, not the bank of your choice. Just everybody out there is going to be hit. So it's a level playing field for everybody. Get in. Lock it in. Let's close it. We'll close it as soon as humanly possible, guys.
Freddie Mac says that 19.3 million people still have an opportunity to take advantage of some refinance opportunity. But what we're seeing totally at the office here, as you know, and John, it's been a ton of consolidation loans. Families who have taken the equity out, a lot of them got home equity loans. They're cheap. They don't cost anything, maybe a $350 exit fee. They borrowed the money to do that home project. And of course, with home values going up over the last 10, 12 years, no matter where you're at in the country, now's that time to consolidate your first and second mortgage. So, Harry, as busy as we are now with just doing the rate and term refinances and families continuously dropping that interest rate to $300 a month savings, also the opportunity to consolidate your debt. Be sure to call us here at 248-539-9797 as we'll take all your calls all morning long. Definitely want to talk mortgages and real estate. We got Noel Heideman on, always talking about purchase business and how that's active in the communities. It is nuts out there. And Noel, some families are sort of finding out the hard way that things are going on. There's a lot of things that go on a purchase, and there's a lot of good things that happen all within 30 days. And sometimes there's some weird things that happen, including some assessments that are coming up. We're in the industry. We're dealing with a lot of purchases, and we're finding out that a lot of the cities now, a lot of the subdivisions are passing some road assessments and some community improvements. And whether they're disclosing them or not or properly, I'm finding a little bit of some gray areas in there. And you got to be careful if you're signing contracts.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to do your due diligence and find those things out. You can find them out through the municipality. We're lucky. We have a very good title company that, does their due diligence for our sellers. But for on the purchase end, you've got to be careful. And if you get wind of anything like that, you definitely want to check it out. Your agent and yourself really can do that. It's a matter of calling in a municipality where you're purchasing, and getting as much information as possible and finding out how that affects you. Because a lot of times, I mean, you'll have assessments, et cetera, depending upon how the contract is written. Those can be picked up in full by the seller. They can be passed along to the purchaser. So it depends on the contract that you sign. But that's something you need to really talk to your agent about, to get as much information as possible, because those things do come up. There's quite a few things in real estate that come up. That's the importance of using a licensed realtor, is that we're aware of all this, all the little intricacies of purchasing and selling. And it's not as clear cut as you think a lot of times. There's a lot of things that happen in a transaction that you got to be very, very aware of.
Competition is fierce. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
I was going to say, you mean, Noel, that private roads aren't always the best thing to get yourself into? The maintenance that comes along with them when they need it, the clearing of the snow, or you just get stuck at home because nobody does clear the snow. I mean, those are the kind of things that, if you don't have somebody looking at all of those intricacies for you, you're going to end up getting burned possibly. And it's just, you're hedging your bet a little bit better by having somebody that does this on a day-to-day basis, a good realtor, a good mortgage person, and, and just making sure you're covering yourself. I had a call the other day that said, what makes you different than some of the bigger banks? I said, it depends. You want to go to McDonald's or you want to go to Capitol Grill and get a nice steak? I mean, you're talking to somebody at a bank who may or may not have been in this business for a little bit of, a couple years, and maybe they just got off the rotation desk and doing the checking and savings account deposits. I'm in my desk every day, all day for 23 years doing this. And, trying to compare me to a bank where somebody's been there for a couple years and doesn't really know the intricacies of the business, it's just not fair. And you're not going to get the service that you needed. What is your loan officer doing right now? Because I know that my boss, Harry Glanz, is texting me and emailing me about files that we're trying to close on Monday during commercial breaks on this show. That's what we do.
There you go.
Yeah, and John, I like that. A warm referral, guys, is always the best. A warm referral coupled with experience, coupled with testimonials. You got to do your homework. And when you find a specialist in something, Harvey Freed, almost 30 years, Harry Glanz, over 30 years, John Kolb, 23 years, Noel Heideman, his entire adult life. You've got to go to people that are very, very experienced. I mean, Becky Alley, Lisa Loss. I mean, we are not a rookie shop. There's nothing wrong with being a rookie. You got to start somewhere. I started somewhere too. But when you're in the middle of a pandemic and you need experience, and the market, a realtor's out there showing multiple homes and knows the area during this, and you have to navigate and know how to get offers through a system, you got to go with a warm referral and with experience.
I think, and just to add to that, you guys, and I think you've got to go and work with somebody that number one, you're comfortable with, but will also let you know what are your options. There's more than one way to skin a cat, so to speak. And what is best for you? John and I have been working together for about the entire 23 years.
You guys totally got that, man.
Been in the business. And
hey, no, hold that thought. No, we're going to go to a quick break here. We got to rock and roll. 248-539-9797. We got a whole bunch of calls coming up next. Keep it here.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
I was having tech.
Welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, NMLS 2289 Equal Housing Lender. We are live. We take all your calls here at 248-539-9797. Got a great guy, Tim, on the line, calling in from White Lake. Hey, Tim, thanks for calling in. Tell us your story.
Morning,
really
Tim.
good. Good to hear from you, Tim.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. No.
There's a lot more in a divorce. Unfortunately, I'm actually in the middle of quite a few of these. So in order to remove someone from a mortgage, you have to do a full refinance to not only remove them from the mortgage, and then at that point you can remove them off title, depending on what your divorce decree states, if you need to do any cash outs to kind of buy each other out. But just removing someone off title does not remove them from the loan. You do have to do a full on refinance transaction to do that. So she for sure on the mortgage.
That is an instrument that could put people on or remove them from title, but you're talking about removing them from the obligation of the promissory note, correct?
There you go.
Yes. That has to, you have to refinance them off of the mortgage to pay off the old note and then continue to go ahead with the obligation with you solely. And then that will fulfill the obligation, I believe, if you're getting divorced.
Capital Mortgage Funding, you're online right now.
What's with these callers today?
We'll get you a mortgage. We'll follow up with you, definitely. Capital Mortgage Funding does these daily. And the best thing about today's times is, you went through a bad situation with the divorce. If it says one of you're going to keep the house, you're awarded the house, you got to get her name off the note. We refinance you. And of course, with today's low interest rates, most families are pretty happy with it. A lot of times they're saving money. I like what Becky Ellie said. Again, anytime you're looking at a divorce, or as Harry said earlier, marital arrangement. What is it, Harry?
No, a marital rearranger.
Rearranger, right? If you go through a marital rearrangement of some sort, this might be one of the things that pops up. And sometimes we're mortgage professionals. We see it daily. And Noel, you might even see it when people are selling houses due to divorces and situations like that. There's some strict orders here. And usually there's a timeline. It might say that you have to refinance and get her off the mortgage or him off the mortgage within 12 months. And if that's the case, we want to make sure these families qualify. So often there'll be an order from a judge, but the borrower can't even qualify for the mortgage. So it's very important to talk to lenders, work with your team, whether it be your divorce attorney. Noel, again, real estate has a lot of these situations.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important, kind of parlaying on what I was talking about earlier before break. Very important to if you're in the market now, if you guys are thinking about divorce, whatever, talk to, a realtor like myself, talk to you guys at Capital Mortgage Funding. And get your ducks in a row and know what your options are. It'll make everything a lot smoother. There'll be less stress and you'll be able to make a smarter decision because you'll have a clear head knowing that, okay, I've got X, Y, and Z options. I've had several people talk to me about, and I've done some cash transactions this year, but about doing cash versus getting a mortgage, and I'm like, the cost of money right now is ridiculously cheap. Why wouldn't you do part of it as get a mortgage? You get the tax write-off with interest, so it's a great time right now. But yeah, you run into all kinds of situations. It's very, very important, I think, to talk to the right people. In regard to what direction, what options do you have because every situation is different. Every divorce, it's unfortunate. There's kids involved sometimes there's not, but there's a lot of different directions to go, but it's important to have the right people there to help you.
And no, sometimes that's the motivation. You find out a seller's going through that situation. Sometimes their timing's a little different, and that could be a buyer's opportunity also.
Absolutely.
If you can find out that motivation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, but this topic, unfortunately, is true. Like, it's cutting me deeply because I'm on both sides. I have one where there's a divorce situation on a purchase transaction, and I have a divorce situation that's on a refinance transaction. Refinance transaction was a little bit unfortunate just because I came in after the decree was signed, sealed, and delivered. And unfortunately, they didn't have a reality or a realistic grasp on the timeline it was going to take for this borrower to remove his ex on top of, do the buyouts and all of his other obligations to remain compliant with the decree. So we ran into a little bit of a time crunch on it. And, I had to get involved with the lawyers. I had to, talk with Harry as well, just to make sure that we were doing, we made sure that we had our checks and balances ready to go, but we had to get a little bit of some more time just because the reality of it was there was no way this refinance transaction with all the moving parts was going to close in the 30 days I was allotted. It wasn't. And then on the purchase, good, sorry.
Oh, I was just going to jump in keep going, Becky, finish up on that.
Oh, no, I was just going to say on the purchase transaction where you can kind of, as a buyer, on this one, unfortunately, the value came in a little bit lower, but because they were in a situation where they really had to get rid of this house, it actually opened up the door for some really good renegotiations for the buyer. So they actually got a better deal on the transaction in a competitive market because of the, unfortunate situation that the sellers were dealing with. So, it goes both ways sometimes.
Yeah, the fierce competition out there for the homes. And if you could find out some motivation, every transaction's got a couple different things going on in it that makes it really unique. So you got to get these professionals and get that information out there. And as we say, get it out there sooner than later because we can help you right from the get-go. Hey, VA loans, I want to throw it out real quick. Such positive stuff going out there. A lot of clients still trying to get into their first house. Well, VA for all our military veterans, what an opportunity. It basically uncapped the limit. If you qualify for the loan, I mean, you literally could under $1 million by zero down with unbelievable interest rates called Capital Mortgage Funding. If you're out there near the Air Force Base in Suffrage over here locally or any of the communities around the state of Michigan, of course, give us a phone call. We do mortgages everywhere. And again, we definitely want to save money for our military and all our veterans out there. So great opportunities on all sides of the transactions. As the competition's heating up, we hear that it's almost 50% bidding wars on most of the houses. Again, we constantly talking about this lack of inventory. We talked about it since 2017. But Noel, does that sound about right? That the nice homes priced right? I mean, forget about it. It's a bidding war.
I'll give you a couple more of the stats and information. So a seller's view, in southeastern Michigan, if your property's under 400,000, the odds of multiple offer situation is 53%.
Oh, wow.
Okay, odds in a bidding war or multiple offer situation in southeastern Michigan under 400,000 for a buyer's view is 75%. Now, this all parlays into the values going higher than what they really should be going to, and it ties into, the issues that we've been having with appraisal value. It's great as a seller thinking about it from that end that you're getting all this money for your home. The bad part about it is, number one, it's got to appraise. Number two, you probably have to purchase another home. That's why we need more listings. We need more inventory because it will level itself out. And it's wonderful to make that additional 5 or 6 or 10% on what you thought you were going to get for the house. But you also have to go and purchase something else. And more than likely, if we have a shortage in inventory, you're going to be paying a little bit more. So more inventory helps out the entire market, on both sides.
Becky and John, maybe you guys want to comment on this. Several years I've spoken about on the radio, like having like a one-on-one meeting, doing some online class work, even taking the Home Possible class online for some of our clients, whether they're buying for the first time or not. I've suggested this, and I see a lot of the clients getting away from it. And we urge anyone out there to really have deep discussions about home ownership, get all those questions answered, understand it, because what I'm seeing is clients that didn't come to Capital Mortgage Funding or truly sit down with mortgage professionals as they're getting into the refinance mode right now. It's just they didn't understand anything about their mortgage that they just signed their name on 2 years ago. Again, a little bit of knowledge. This is one of those things they don't teach us in school and stuff. A little bit of knowledge will go a long way. You can be the expert at your dinner table tonight. Learn, ask questions. If you're not working with people that are answering those questions, definitely give us a call. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. And we're up against our first little break here in the second half. We got tons to share with you. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket, 248-539-9797. We'll be back.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke from Capital Mortgage Funding. Over 30 years in the mortgage banking industry, hundreds of thousands of families served. Let us serve you. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 945. A gorgeous day out here in Southeast Michigan. The sun's just peeping through here. Get out there and enjoy. As we said, a few days left of summer, and What a gorgeous fall we're going to have here. And if you're thinking about buying a house, definitely give us a call. Get that strong approval letter. Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll get you a strong approval letter, set you up with great real estate agents like Noel Heideman from Broock. And we want to say a little quick thing about refinancing or two, because so many families out there have this great opportunity. As we know, everyone's talking about low interest rates, but what can you do with it? Well, you can pay off that land contract. You can pay off your tuition, adding and consolidating your first and second mortgages together, or using some money. I don't know. There's some families getting out there and getting into some businesses, and there's different parameters for refinancing and cash out. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding. John Kolb, we answered all your questions about mortgages, and you had something to say about that. You're one of those top 1% agents, and so is Becky Alley. You guys are loaded with information. And John, of course, my office right down the hall from you. I know what you're saying to clients. Man, we're really helping people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's the funny thing is you got a couple callers today, which Steve and Tim, I'm going to call you out, calling in, getting the good advice from Becky, Harvey, Harry, myself, and Noel, and, and wanting to go to your local credit union. That's great. And like Becky said at the break, you can give the local credit union the advice that we give you on the air, but they're not going to be able to execute like we can. And that's why you got to come to Capital Mortgage Funding, because, one, yeah, we already have the good advice, and two, we know how to execute on it. So, make sure you're giving us a call. It's just the right thing to do for you. I mean, I'm going to give a shout out to my clients that have been texting me, listening on the radio right now, Bruce and Kitty driving around. Hey, what's up, guys? And they're texting me saying, hey, John, don't forget about us. We need to do our refinance. And that's what our clients do. They call, they text, they call, they email. And Becky just said this, you're getting so many people that we've helped over all these years. You just got to stay in our ear and let us know how we can help you, because we're here for every single person. We love you like family.
No, home ownership's a lot of fun. Talk to me. You got an open house today. And of course, we'll talk about a few of the fun stories. We've had some great closings all year. It's been a great year for purchases, and so many families really getting into some great houses.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have an open house today from 11:30 to 2 o'clock at 888 Ann Street, which is in downtown Birmingham, a couple blocks south of the heart of downtown Birmingham. Come on by. I love meeting people and helping people out. It's going to be a great day today. But yeah,
you got free coffee, free donuts, free bagels. Right? It's a coffee bar. It's
right.
Everybody in Birmingham's available. Come on by. Noel's treating.
Hey, Noel, you talked about local. Families got to get out there, Noel. Maybe that one's a little out of someone's price range. Maybe it's right in the price range, or maybe they're looking for even a lot more than that. But you get out there and you got to really get into these houses a little bit. And the criteria typically is make sure you're approved, and then an agent will be willing to work with you. They want to find out your motivation, but there's nothing wrong with stopping by the open houses. Again, you're using the proper social distancing and everything that's in place now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a firm believer too. And open houses are great for people to go through. A lot of times people aren't necessarily in the market, but to get a feel for the market, I talk to sellers a lot, and I'm a firm believer in knowing what what your competition is. There's nothing wrong with going out and taking a look at a few houses. If you are going to list your home, you are more than likely going to be purchasing another one. So I highly recommend, John and I work together a lot, that people talk to him before we even sell. And there's no harm in going out and taking a look at what the next house could be. Education is power. So the more you know, the more you're going to be comfortable with making a decision on, number one, what you're selling at, and number two, what you're purchasing at, and what are my options with the purchase. As you guys know, there's tons of different programs and stuff out there for everybody. So it's a matter of getting the information and being comfortable with moving forward with whatever direction that they decide to go.
Becky Alley.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And you actually touched on it right before the break. It's like, what's the G.I. Joe slogan? Now you can't know enough about the purchase transaction, refinance transaction, because they don't teach that in school, like you mentioned. And a lot of times I feel like people are getting back to they want to find the house first and then work backwards. And you can't always do that in a timely manner. Are we really good? Can we be under the gun a little bit and work backwards? Sure. But do we want to? No, because that's a disservice to yourself, because it's going to be more stressful, because now we have to get your scores up. You found this house, we got to hurry up and try to get you to qualify for it, versus if you called us ahead of time, we could have already been making those steps before you fell in love with a property, before you became emotionally attached. So that way, when you're making your offer, it was going to be strong. We were confident, instead of being like, oh my gosh, do we think we're going to make it in time? You don't want to do that to yourself. You want to learn. budget, plan. What are your costs? Should you sign up for a home buyer class? These are the things that we will tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. So therefore, when you do find that house, it's just steady, and we'll calm the storm for you. Our feet are going to be going crazy under the water, but as far as you're concerned, it's just going to be steady on the surface.
It's never too early to get information on the whole process. It's never too early. And it doesn't matter if you're a year out, if you're 6 months out, 6 days out, 6 weeks out. It's never too early.
Yeah, you know,
planning, guys, planning, preparation, and practice equals a great performance. Okay, so I don't understand people that don't have a plan. We talk about it. What's your plan? What are your goals and objectives? And my radio mentor from 25, 30 years ago, Rick Bloom, would always say, and it's Bloom Asset Management out there, everybody. He would always say, what's your plan? What are your goals and your objectives? It's the same thing in the mortgage industry, and it's the same thing in real life. What are your goals and objectives? Write them down, take a look at them, and then let's execute a plan so we can meet those goals and objectives. It's the same thing in the mortgage industry, buying a house, money management, whatever it is, you have to have a plan.
Noel, home price growth is very real out there. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're at 100, 200, 300,000, whatever your entry level is, Noel, these home prices are continuously bumping up a little bit. We talked about the competition. Maybe a couple things they can do is, get yourself prepared, especially if you have a little bit stickier situation, as we urge you, all listeners out there, to get educated on the process. And again, asking questions is the key. Lots of opportunity out there, and it's always fun to own a house. If you've got a couple last minute calls here, 248-539-9797. One of the things that's been really interesting is families have been looking at maybe moving away from the city. With the pandemic has caused a little change in location, and the cost of gas has been really low. So maybe it's not so bad to consider, as again, we talk about the inventory. You might want to cash out on your house in the city and maybe move out to a rural area here across our counties. You get outside of our counties, you're still within, 25, 30 minutes, a lot of times from downtown. So there's a lot of opportunities, Noel, for even the families that want to take a look at cashing out and then buying something new outside of the city limits.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the farther, if you, depending upon obviously where you live, but if you say the core is the Tri-County area, the farther you get away from that core, the more your money buys you. Land and home and bedrooms and bathrooms and all that good stuff. There are certain markets throughout the state of Michigan that are absolutely on fire. Traverse City is going bonkers.
Yeah.
So there are certain areas, but there's a lot of places still that, homes are very, very affordable. The appreciation is still there, but not quite at the clip that Oakland County, for example, Macomb County and Wayne County. Oakland County, I think, the appreciation for homes in Oakland County is so high is because it's so centrally located. We in Michigan, we love our cars. So getting north, south, east, and west is pretty easy from Oakland County. Absolutely. Now is a great time, the best time in 20 years. I mean, we've been saying that for a while now, to start looking and put your home up for sale.
All right, we're down to a little bit of time here. Of course, we got Pat Caputo coming up with sports and social commentary. Got the Tiger game coming up at 7:10 with Dan and Jim calling it, and lots of sports to talk about. It's going to be a football season starting off tomorrow. Want you to call Capital Mortgage Funny, as we've talked all morning long, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You can definitely get that strong approval letter. We set you up with the best real estate agents, matching your objectives with what they know. Like Noel Heideman, Max Broock Realty. Always thanks, Noel. Good job as always.
Come see me at the open house.
There you go. He's got a great open house there on Ann Street in Birmingham, 888 Ann Street in Birmingham. Be careful out there. Keep your social distance. For Harry Glanz, for the entire staff, Noel Heideman, Becky Alley, John Kolb, I'm Harvey Freed. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll see you next Saturday.
Thanks, guys.